is Shiro, is Iserman, is Crawford, is Madama, is Drysiacker, is O'Hanlon. Attention.
And we have a start in the women's single at the National Championships. We have a start in the women's single at the National Championships. Out of the breakage area. In lane 7, close to me, California Yacht, Faith O'Hanlon. Lane 6, Craftsbury, Emily Dreisingacker. Lane 5, Suzanne Madama from Steel City. Lane 4, Erin Crawford from Tempe Juniors. Lane 3 on the far side, Miami Beach, Natalie Iserman. And lane 2 on the outside, HB Rowing, Catherine Shiro. Passing 250 meters into the race. Pretty close as far as the pack goes right now. Early leader might be California Yacht, Faith O'Hanlon, but only by about the half of the length of a single.
Get up a little bit closer, a little farther forward.
But as one would expect in a national championship, we do have a fairly close race here at the start. All scullers moving quite well. We don't have any steering problems. And they're starting to bunch up a little bit more now. It looks like in lane 4, Tempe Juniors, and lane 5, Steel City, both making a move now to challenge for the lead. Also up in the medals right now is Emily Dreisingacker from Craftsbury in lane 6. Approaching the boat launch point and the 500 meter. Still a very close pack. Suzanne Madama in lane 5 for Steel City, definitely understroking the field. She's edged possibly into second place, I would think, right now, behind Faith O'Hanlon from California Yacht. Lane 4, Tempe Juniors, also in the hunt. No one has really fallen out of the pack at all. From 1st through 6th is half the length of a single. Very close race here in the women's singles to start off. Well past the point now. Steel City, Suzanne Madama possibly in the lead by about half a length of a single. Second place now, Tempe Juniors, Erin Crawford in lane 4. Third place, I'd have to say, would be HB Rowing, Catherine Shiro, all the way on the outside of the course as they start to spread out. Fourth is Faith O'Hanlon from California Yacht. Fifth is Emily Dreisingacker. And 6th is Miami Beach, Natalie Iserman. The pack is starting to spread now. From 1st to 6th, Suzanne Madama from Steel City is in the lead. She has about a length of open water on Natalie Iserman from Miami Beach. Steel City in the lead in lane 5. She has a 1 length advantage over Tempe in lane 4. And there are basically 3 singles across, dead even, lane 7, 6, and 2. That's California Yacht, Craftsbury, and HB Rowing. Basically, those 3 scullers are tied for 3rd place. And Miami Beach is about a length off the 3rd place boats out of the pack. Very close pack with Suzanne Madama from Steel City pushing away. We are past the 1,000 meter mark, perhaps 900 meters or so now to go. Steel City understroking the field and moving away. She has about half the length of a single open water over Tempe Juniors. However, Erin Crawford in Tempe has got to be careful because she only has a half a length advantage over California Yacht and Craftsberry. That's Faith O'Hanlon and Emily Dreisingacker. Catherine Shiro is only about a couple of seats out of the third place position, so it is a very, very tight race for the bronze medal at this point in time. Steel City walking away now as we approach the point. She has a full length and some change of open water, rowing very long, understroking the field and really pushing along. Nice sculling. Third place is still very up for grabs. All three boats very close. Tempe Juniors still in second, and she still only has, I'd say maybe she's pushed out to a length advantage now. I'd say Emily Dreisingacker has third place, but only by about half a length over Faith O'Hanlon in lane 7 from California Yacht. Steel City pushing away. Now 2 medals. Erin Crawford still has silver medal in her pocket, but she only has half a length of a single, half a length of a single, only a couple of seats in front of Emily Dreisingacker in lane 6. Emily Dreisingacker has about a length or so advantage over Faith O'Hanlon in lane 7, followed by Natalie Iserman in lane 3 and Catherine Shiro in lane 2. Over to the finish line. We have a start in the men's single final. They are through the breakage area. Farthest from us in lane 2, GMS Rowing, Kynan Relic. Saratoga High School. In lane 3, Elihu Reynolds. Miami Rowing. In lane 4, Robin Prendez. Unaffiliated, James Hills in lane 5. Moses Brown High School. Irish Schultze in lane 6, and from Detroit, Jason Koch in lane 7. already past the 250-meter mark. The men are rowing significantly higher, and the field has really spread out. With 2 lengths of open water, we have a duel between Hills and Prendez of Miami and unaffiliated. Hills in lane 5 with a slight advantage over Miami in lane 4, followed by Cook from Detroit in lane 7, Relic from GMS in lane 2, Moses Brown Schulze and Saratoga in lane 3. But a real big spread here, completely the opposite of the women's race. In the men, it basically has turned into a 2-boat race already between James Hills and Robin Prendez in lanes 5 and 4. Those 2 scullers have at least 4 lengths of open water, 4 lengths of a single on the field. It looks like GMS, Kynan Relic, in lane 2 is all alone in 3rd place. He has over a length, probably, I'd say a length and a couple of seats advantage over Cook and Saratoga. I'd say Saratoga's in 4th, Detroit's in 5th, and Moses Brown is in 6th. Through 500 meters, we're past the point. In the lead, James Hills in lane 5. He now has about a 1-length advantage over Prendez from Miami in lane 4.
And watch yourself just a little bit, back down just a little bit.
All alone in 3rd place continues to be GMS, Kynan Relic in lane 2. 4th place, Saratoga, Lihu Reynolds in lane 3. 5th place, Jason Cook from Detroit, and 6th place, Moses Brown. 1,000 meters to go. James Hills walking away. He's got 2 lengths of open water, 2 lengths of a single of open water over Miami in lane 4. Miami has about a 3-length advantage over GMS in lane 2. The rest of the field is really starting to bunch up now, with Detroit, Moses Brown, and Saratoga all within 1 length of a single of each other, with Detroit having a slight advantage. Jason Cook from Detroit is trying to challenge to get back into the medals. He is pushing back up into Relic from GMS in lane 2. He's definitely overstroking Relic and looking over his left shoulder all the way across the course to get himself back into the medal contention. He's now within a length as the pack starts to reel in Relic. Hills continues to lead. Probably 3 lengths, maybe 4 lengths of open water. That's 4 lengths of a single of open water as they approach the point. Hills now at a lower rating, really pushing along. Miami all alone in 2nd position. Miami has a big advantage over the pack. The pack is now really fighting out for the 3rd place medal. Detroit has caught GMS. Those 2 are going to be dueling it out for 3rd. And Moses Brown is not out of this either. It is now less than a length from 3rd to 6th position. A very close pack here as we pass the point. Hills continues to lead, pushing out toward his gold medal. Miami still in 2nd, but the pack is starting to catch up to Miami as well. He now only has about 2.5 to 3 lengths of open water advantage for the silver medal. Looks like he's pretty comfortable for silver with 500 meters to go. James Hills pushing along, walking away toward a gold. Miami, Robin Prendez with the silver in hand. A real dogfight now for 3rd position is now. I really can't see who's going to be in 3rd position at this point in time. It's going to come down to the sprint. Detroit, Moses Brown. Saratoga and GMS. I'd say Saratoga might have a slight advantage now into third. Excuse me, fourth. Now GMS, fifth Detroit, sixth Moses Brown. Saratoga's starting to walk out and into third position. He's got a half a length, but here comes Detroit. Koch from Detroit pushing to come up even, approaching 250 meters to go. It is going to be a very close sprint for the bronze medal. Koch from Detroit really starting to dig. Saratoga, Reynolds at Saratoga is going to have to be careful or he's going to be caught. Here comes Detroit and over to the finish line. We have a start in the women's lightweight doubles. Closest to me and the shore in lane 7, California Yacht Club. In lane 6, Holy Spirit. Lane 5, GMS Rowing. Dallas Rowing Club in lane 4. New Canaan in lane 3. And out on the outside, Lake Stevens in lane 2. They have cleared the breakage area and are 250 meters into the race. I have to say, early leaders looks like Dallas in lane 4. I'd say maybe they have about a length or so advantage on the field. They're definitely overstroking the field and pushing out. The rest of the pack is very close. Less than a length separates everybody else. But moving out very strong with now a length of open water. A length of open water is Dallas in lane 4. Second place is California Yacht in lane 7. They have half a length advantage over GMS in lane 5. GMS has about a half a length advantage over Holy Spirit in lane 6. And Holy Spirit has 3/4 over New Canaan. New Canaan only has 2 seats up on Lake Stevens. Dallas really pushing away from the field. They've shifted down now. They've shifted down. Everyone's probably rowing about 32, 33 strokes a minute. Dallas leads. Dallas leads over a length of open water, a length of a double of open water now. Challenging into second place goes GMS in lane 5. California Yacht drops to third. California still very close. It is a very close race right now between California and GMS for the silver medal. In fourth place is Holy Spirit, and they are about overlapping bow deck, stern deck to the two boats fighting for the silver medal. California Yacht now has responded to the challenge, and I'd say that they are back into second place, but only by maybe a seat or two. Not much. 500 meters down. Actually, check that. That's 750. I apologize. 750 meters down. Dallas with a length and a half of open water on the field. Lane 7, California Yacht Club, only about a seat advantage over GMS in lane 5. Very close between those two crews. Lane 6, Holy Spirit. Lane 3, New Canaan. Lane 2, Lake Stevens. They are all within a seat of each other. I'd say Holy Spirit has a slight advantage, followed by New Canaan and Lake Stevens. Maybe a seat separates each one of those boats. For the second place, as we approach the 1,000, California Yacht Club still only with about a seat advantage over GMS in lane 5. Those two crews have almost tip-to-tip over Holy Spirit in lane 6. Through the 1,000-meter mark goes Dallas. Still about a length and a half of open water. They're now understroking the field, just watching what's going on, making sure that they stay secure in the lead. California Yacht has extended their lead. They now have about a 2-seat advantage. They're starting to walk. 3-seat advantage. They're on the move. California Yacht walking away from GMS. California now out to overlapping bow decks and stern decks. California into control of second place. California walking away. They're a little close to the port side buoys. Let's see if they can get it corrected. There they come, coming back in. No one's being steered, no interference, no problems. California still in second position. I'd say they're still overlapping bow deck and stern deck over GMS. Holy Spirit overlapping bow deck and stern deck with GMS. They're in fourth. Fifth is New Canaan. New Canaan only has a seat advantage over Lake Stevens in sixth. 750 meters are gone. Dallas understroking the field and continuing to push away. California in second place. GMS has responded and cut their advantage to only half a length, but it is very close between second and third. Holy Spirit is in fourth. They're exactly 1 length behind GMS and half a length up on New Canaan and Lake Stevens. California pushing again. Hitting the buoys with the port side blades. She needs to be careful. California in second place, though. She is now clear of GMS. Exactly 1 length up on GMS, and GMS had better be careful because Holy Spirit is coming as well. Holy Spirit is understroking them and pushing up. The Holy Spirit's only 2 seats behind. California in second. Dallas in control. Holy Spirit charging. A seat behind now on California, trying to get that third place position. Holy Spirit charging. Now even with GMS. Holy Spirit into third place, now a seat up. Holy Spirit trying to get up into California Yacht, but California still has a full-length advantage on them. California and Holy Spirit walking away from GMS. GMS falls to fourth. Lake Stevens has moved into fifth. They have a length advantage over New Canaan, now in sixth. Dallas in control as we approach 250 meters. California in second. Holy Spirit trying to come back into GMS. It's going to be close for the bronze medal.
This is the first call for the men's double petite 5. First call, men's double petite 5.
Conestoga A, Conestoga B, Melbourne, Vancouver, Warwick, Miami Beach. Attention.
Conditions here on the course right now.
Go.
We really don't have much of a wind to speak about. Another perfect day in June in Cincinnati. Clean start, the men's lightweight doubles. No one getting steered. Closest to me, Miami Beach in lane 7, Warwick in lane 6, Vancouver Lake in lane 5, Malvern in lane 4, and 2 boats from Conestoga in lanes 3 and 2. Conestoga B in 3, Conestoga A in 2. And the early leader bursting out in lane 2, Conestoga A. They have only a couple of seats advantage over Warwick in lane 6. But as we go through 250 meters, a very close pack. I'd say Warwick has moved up into the lead over Conestoga. Warwick really pushing away. They settled pretty late, but now they have settled fairly low. They are definitely understroking the field. Warwick in lane 6 probably has about a 2-seat advantage over Conestoga A in lane 2. And those 2 crews maybe only have a couple of seats over the entire pack. I'd say that Miami Beach is trailing, but that's about the only clear result I can give you at this point in time. Miami Beach now falling out of the pack. They need to watch their steering a little bit. Their port oars are starting to get into the buoys. Wow, 500 meters down, and less than a length separates first through 5th. I'd say Conestoga A is in the lead over Warwick in lane 6. And Warwick might have a seat or so on Vancouver Lake, Malvern, and Conestoga B. Real close. Uh-oh, here goes Vancouver Lake on the move. Vancouver Lake making a push. Malvern trying to go with them. Malvern and Vancouver Lake making a push. Those 2 crews going up to challenge Conestoga out in lane 2. I'd say Malvern in lane 4 has now got the advantage, and they're now into the lead. Conestoga A in lane 2 now in 2nd place. 750 meters down as they all go through right now. Malvern in the lead, maybe about a half a length advantage over Conestoga A and Vancouver Lake. In 4th place, it is, looks like Warwick. Yeah, I'd say Warwick in 4th, only a small advantage over Conestoga B in lane 3. They're in 5th. And in 6th place is Miami Beach. They're a full length off, the pace being set by Conestoga B. Still very close pack up at the top as we approach 1,000. Malvern now has the lead. Malvern probably has about a 2 to 3 seat advantage over Vancouver Lake in lane 5. Conestoga A in lane 2 maintains third. They're being pressed, though, by Warwick in lane 6, who's in fourth, and overstroking them a little bit, trying to move up. Conestoga B in lane 3 is fifth. Miami Beach still in sixth. Malvern still in the lead. They still only have about a 2-seat advantage over Vancouver Lake. Malvern leading. Warwick trying to push up. Warwick possibly into third. Still getting really close now at the top of the pack as Warwick and Vancouver Lake are pushing up to challenge Malvern. Warwick and Vancouver Lake are pushing up to challenge Malvern. Now, I'd say Malvern's advantage is less than 2 seats, possibly only a seat now over Vancouver Lake. Vancouver Lake challenging, and they are bringing Warwick with them. Miami Beach is trailing. They're in sixth. Conestoga B is trying to push up. They are now pushing into fourth place and trying to challenge Warwick to get into third. Conestoga A and B on the outside pushing along, using each other it looks like. But for first place, it is very close between Malvern Prep and Vancouver. Vancouver Lake and Malvern, I'd say maybe about a seat separates them. Malvern still has a slight advantage. 500 meters to go. Vancouver pushing. Looks like Vancouver's even. Vancouver on the move and pushing into first. Malvern is going to have to respond. Vancouver is definitely overstroking them. Malvern might have a little bit more left in the sprint. We're going to see. Vancouver and Malvern, lanes 4 and 5 for the men's lightweight double. A very close race here. Malvern and Vancouver going back and forth. It's going to be close also between Warwick and Conestoga B for the bronze medal. Looks like Malvern possibly now back into the lead and the advantage as we approach 250 meters to go.
This is the final call for the men's double petite final. Final call, men's double petite final. This is the second call for the men's double final. Second call, men's double final.
Lake Stevens, Navasink, Sammamish, Narragansett, Kallioppa, Stanford. Attention. Go.
And down. We have a start in a women's double. Looks like a clean start. No one having any steering problems as they emerge from the breakage area in the women's double. Closest to me in lane 7, Stanton College Prep. Lane 6, California Yacht. Lane 5, Narragansett. Sammamish in lane 4. Navasink rowing in lane 3, and Lake Stevens on the outside in lane 2. The championships in the women's double. Approaching the 250-meter mark, still have a pretty close pack. I'd say that Narragansett in lane 5 appears to be out in the lead, probably about a half a boat length lead over Stanton in lane 7. Through the 250-meter, Narragansett in the lead over Stanton, not much of an advantage. Sammamish in lane 4 in 3rd position. California Yacht in lane 6 in 4th, followed very closely by Navasink in 5th and Lake Stevens in 6th. Narragansett still leading as we are headed down the course. These doubles are very quiet. We're not hearing a lot of commands from the scullers. Narragansett in lane 5, leading the race. They've got a full-length advantage over Sammamish in lane 4. Sammamish is in 2nd, and they have possibly about a seat to 2-seat lead over Stanton in lane 7, who's in 3rd. Stanton in 3rd, only a little bit of advantage over Navasink in 4th, and they're in lane 3. 5th place is Lake Stevens, and 6th place is California Yacht. Past the boat dock, the boat launch, which is a little past 500 meters. Narragansett continues to lead over Sammamish. Narragansett's lead is now overlapping bow deck and stern deck. Sammamish in lane 4. They're in 2nd place, and they are tip to tip with Stanton Prep and Navasink. Excuse me. Stanton Prep and Navasink in lanes 3 and 7, really dueling it out here for the 3rd place. I'd say that Navasink might have a slight advantage now over Stanton. Stanton in 4th, Lake Stevens in 5th, California Yacht Club in 6th. Narragansett, with 750 meters down, continues to lead, still trying to push out to the full length. Still overlapping, though, with Sammamish. Sammamish is not going to let them break away that easily. Sammamish in lane 4, as Stanton now is trying to move back into 3rd place. See, Stanton's still in 4th, but they're just a whisker behind Navasink, who's in 3rd, and Navasink's out there in lane 3. Stanton's still in 4th. California Yacht is now moved up to 5th, and Lake Stevens now into 6th position. Stanton pushing, trying to get into 3rd place. It looks like they've now caught Navasink. Those scullers looking across the course at each other. Stanton now into 3rd. They are a length and some change back from Narragansett, who continues to lead. We're past the 1,000-meter mark. Narragansett has the lead, but they have not yet broken clear of Sammamish in lane 4. Sammamish still in 2nd place. Sammamish has a full-length advantage over Stanton and Navasink. Those two crews, Stanton and Navasink, really pushing at each other for the 3rd place. And those two 3rd-place crews are starting to walk up into the leaders. Narragansett in lane 5 now. almost breaking. It looks like they just broke open water. Narragansett in lane 5 on the move, breaking into open water over Sammamish in lane 4. Sammamish has almost exactly a 1 length advantage over Stanton and Navesink. We're starting to get a slight headwind on the course as we get out into the open water. Narragansett continues to lead, but that lead is only the length of 1 double. That's it. 750 meters to go. Narragansett in the lead. Sammamish 1 length behind in second place. In third now, all alone, is Navesink. Navesink moving up the challenge. Narragansett. Navesink only 1 length behind Narragansett. Navesink only 1 length behind. That's correct. Narragansett in the lead. Sammamish in second, 1 length behind. Navesink in third. Stanton in fourth, and Stanton trying to walk to get back up into contention for a medal. Fifth place is California Yacht. Lake Stevens in sixth. Stanton trying to push now with 500 meters to go. Narragansett continuing to lead. It is still only a 1 length advantage over Sammamish. Almost exactly a length. Sammamish only 1 length advantage over Navesink. Sammamish now moving. Sammamish has moved back into contact with Narragansett as we approach 300. It is going to be close at the final because Sammamish is starting to walk. They now have overlap, bow deck and stern deck on Narragansett. Narragansett still leading as we approach 250 meters. It's getting closer at the top. Navesink is coming with them. Moving now all alone into fourth place is California Yacht. They've caught Stanton. Stanton now into fifth with Lake Stevens still in sixth. The medals are going to be close over to the finish line.
Clay, Malvern, Marin, St. Louis, Christian Brothers, Delta Blaze.
The red flag is up.
Attention.
And down we have a start. Looks like a clean start. No one getting steered. We have a clean start. in the men's youth final as they emerge from the breakage area. We'll be picking them up right here at about the 250 meter mark. Pushing out to an early lead, very slight early lead, but it looks like St. Louis in lane 5, followed by Christian Brothers in lane 6, only about a seat behind. Delta Blades right with them in lane 7, but it's a close pack in the third place with Delta, Marin, and McClay. Malvern trails, they are a length off the pack. Early leader continues to be St. Louis, with the Christian Brothers overstroking them a little bit and only a seat behind. Delta Blades falling off now into 5th, and taking over 3rd place now is the McClay School. St. Louis pushing out, 3-seat advantage. 4-seat advantage as St. Louis pushes out, and we approach the 500 meter mark. The Christian Brothers maintain control of 2nd place, but the McClay School is only a couple seats behind them all the way out there in lane 2. Through the 500 meter mark now, St. Louis still leads. Christian Brothers in 2nd place. Christian Brothers coming back up to challenge. They're now only 2 seats behind. Christian Brothers moving, now just a seat behind. The McClay School is also on the move, getting very tight at the top of the race here in the men's double. St. Louis still slightly in the lead, but the McClay School and the Christian Brothers are right behind them. Less than a seat, I would say, separates 1st through 3rd, and in 4th place, sticking their nose in, is now Marin. Those 4 boats have a 2-length open water advantage over Malvern in lane 3 and the Delta Blades in lane 7. 750 meters down, St. Louis continues to lead, and they're now trying to push back out and take back the advantage. McClay in 2nd, only a couple of seats behind. 3rd place, oh boy, that's close. Maybe Marin. No, it's either Marin or the Christian Brothers. Those 2 crews are very, very close in 3rd. For now, you've got 4 boats with maybe 3 seats separating 4 boats total. A lot of overlap. St. Louis still has the advantage as we start pushing into the slight headwind. St. Louis is understroking the field. I'd say St. Louis and Marin are understroking the Christian Brothers and McClay. And McClay's starting to drop off a little bit. Now, okay, that's it. All right, Marin now into the lead. Marin now into the lead by about a seat. St. Louis in 2nd. Christian Brothers right on their tail in 3rd. McClay all the way on the outside in 4th. McClay is all alone out there in 4th. They have a full length of open water advantage over Delta Blades in 5th and Malvern in 6th. Marin into the lead. They're really pushing out now. St. Louis's early advantage is definitely gone because St. Louis is starting to, I'd say St. Louis is in a real fight, and they might now be down in 3rd. The Christian Brothers are still right there, less than, I'd say about a half a length, maybe 3/4 of a length off the leader in Marin. Marin in the lead in lane 4, and they are pushing out. Marin pushing out with 750 meters to go. The Christian Brothers are now in 2nd. St. Louis a couple of seats behind them in 3rd. McClay a full length off St. Louis now in 4th. 5th and 6th are very close between Malvern and the Delta Blades. Marin leading. Marin maybe, I'd say Marin now has open water. Marin has the full length plus a little bit of a double over St. Louis and the Christian Brothers. It's very close between St. Louis and the Christian Brothers. Delta Blades in 5th. Malvern in 6th. McClaskill still in 4th, trying to challenge to get up into the medals. Marin moving away with 500 to go. But I don't think Marin is, yep, it looks like the Christian brothers are starting to challenge. Christian brothers are in 2nd place, and they are starting to challenge up into Marin. Marin is definitely going to have to sprint in order to hold on to the gold medal. 400 meters to go. Marin still in the lead. Christian brothers coming up. St. Louis in 3rd. McClay in 4th. A lot of open water now. Malvern challenging the Delta Blades to get up into 5th. Marin trying to push out. Marin exactly 1 length ahead of the Christian brothers. The Christian brothers have open water now on St. Louis. Marin pushing out with a good power sprint now. 250 meters to go and over to the finish.
Out an inch.
Mount St. Joe's. Marin. Los Gatos. Community. Westerville.
In the women's lightweight 8, the red flag is up and down. We have a start. In lane 7, closest to the shore, Anthony Westerville. Community rowing in lane 6. Los Gatos in lane 5. Marin in lane 4. Mount St. Joseph in 3. Notre Dame in lane 2. We're going to be picking this race up at about 350 meters or so into the race. The boats are clear of the starting area. We have a clean start. We are starting to see just a little bit more of the headwind starting to filter down into the starting area. Some crews were having to have 3 scull 2 to get them into the wind. Starting to pick the headwind up a little bit. We still do have flat water conditions. I'd say early leader as they come up even with us at 350 meters into the race. Lane 3, Mount St. Joseph. About a 3 to 2 seat advantage over Marin. And Marin just has about a heartbeat of advantage over Los Gatos, and Los Gatos is now on the move. Los Gatos moving up into it now. Los Gatos up and even, so we've got about 3 boats across. Marin, Los Gatos, and Mount St. Joseph. Community and Westerville are in 4th and 5th respectively. Notre Dame is in 6th out in lane 2. Into the lead now, Los Gatos Crew in lane 5. Maybe about a 2-seat advantage over Marin in lane 4. Marin only has about a seat advantage though over Mount St. Joseph in lane 3. Very close race here in the women's lightweight. And now Marin and Mount St. Joseph are basically even. The 2 coxswains are now basically even. Los Gatos, their advantage is now down to a seat. Marin's still in 2nd place, and Marin's now into 2nd place over Mount St. Joseph, and that's 1 seat. So we have 1 seat, 2 seats total separating 1st and 3rd. Community is in 4th. They are 1 length back. Westerville is about a half a length off Community, and Notre Dame is very close to Westerville. 750 meters down, Los Gatos still in the lead, 1 seat over Marin. Marin 1 seat up over Mount St. Joseph. Those 3 boats still have a full length and now open water over Community. Community in 4th, Notre Dame now moves into 5th, and Westerville in 6th. Los Gatos still in the lead. It is still 1 seat. That is it. A 1-seat advantage. Wow, close racing, close racing. Mount St. Joseph now is about 2 to 3 seats off the pace being set by Marin.
You're going to have to back off a bit.
Approaching the 1,000 meters.
Back off a little bit.
Through now. Los Gatos still in the lead, but they are now really being challenged by Marin. Marin moving, Los Gatos on the move. Los Gatos still up. Here goes Los Gatos moving back out. Los Gatos moving, 2-seat advantage. Los Gatos, 3-seat advantage. Los Gatos walking, Marin moving up on Mount St. Joseph. The Marin coxswain is now on the nameplate of the Mount St. Joseph bow. Marin coxswain now on bow ball of Mount St. Joseph. Starting to spread out now. Los Gatos has about a half a length, call it 4 to 5 seats, and walking on Marin. Marin in 2nd place has a 1-length advantage over Mount St. Joseph. Community starting to walk back into Mount St. Joseph as well as Community starts to challenge to get into 3rd. Community a couple seats out of 3rd place. In 5th now, Westerville, 1 length up on Notre Dame in 6th. Close race earlier. Los Gatos starting to take control here in the lightweight women over Marin. Marin in 2nd place. Mount St. Joseph's needs to watch out because Community is coming. Community coming for that 3rd place medal. Los Gatos still walking out. I'd say Los Gatos now maybe about 3/4 of a length advantage over Marin. Community dueling it out now with Mount St. Joseph. Those 2 crews are in 3rd and 4th. I'd say Mount St. Joseph still has 3rd, but Community's coming. Los Gatos still leads. Los Gatos still walking. Really pulling into the headwind now. Los Gatos has a full length advantage. Los Gatos in the lead. Marin in 2nd place in lane 4. Community only 2 seats behind Mount St. Joseph's. Mount St. Joseph's only has 2 seats of a cushion over Community. Community is all alone in 4th. They have a full length and some change over Westerville in 5th. Los Gatos still in the lead, exactly 1 length, tip to tip. Marin in second place. They have a full length and some open water over Mount St. Joe's. Mount St. Joe's walking out now over Community. Mount St. Joe's 4 seats now or so over Community. Community in fourth. Los Gatos leading with 250 meters to go, followed by Marin and Mount St. Joseph's.
Berkeley, Oakland, Marina, Wayland, Mercer, Cincinnati. Attention. I'll try to speak louder. Gentlemen, I'm going to go to a countdown start. I'm going to count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attention, and give the command. You're responsible for maintaining your form. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attention. Go.
We already have a start in the men's lightweight fours. We have a start in the men's lightweight fours. They'll already clear the breakage area. Closest to me in lane 7, Cincinnati. Mercer Juniors in lane 6, Wayland-Weston in lane 5, Marina in 4, Oakland Strokes in lane 3, and Berkeley High School in the outside in lane 2. We're going to be picking up this race again at about 350 meters into the piece. They are through the 250 right now. Lightweight men's fours, and here they come. It looks like as we would expect from the seating, Marina and Wayland-Weston appear to be the first 2 boats. It looks like Marina in the lead. Yeah, Marina in the lead Wow, Marina in the lead by a full half of a length over Wayland-Weston in lane 5. Wayland-Weston has about a half a length over Oakland in lane 3. Oakland has a slight advantage over Mercer, followed by Berkeley, and then Cincinnati in lane 7. 500 meters down now, Marina in lane 4, extending their lead, and they are now overlapping stern deck over bow deck over Wayland-Weston. Wayland trying to hold on to second place as Oakland is challenging. Oakland strokes are challenging, passing the boat launch. Marina really putting on a clinic here in the lightweight men's event early. They are understroking the field, walking away from the field, pushing out. They are now tip to tip with Wayland-Weston. Marina in the lead. Wayland-Weston in second place and only a couple seats ahead of a charging Oakland Strokes. Fourth place. Wow, it's either Berkeley or Mercer. I'd say it's probably Berkeley High School in fourth. Slight advantage over Mercer, and Mercer has a full-length lead over Cincinnati. Cincinnati is in sixth. 750 meters down, coming up on the 1,000 meters. Marina continues to lead. They are tip-to-tip with Wayland-Weston. Understroking the field, Marina pushing along. As the headwind starts kicking up, these lightweight crews are going to have to deal with it. Marina on the move, on a power move. Marina breaking open water. There's one seat of open water between Marina and the bow ball of Wayland-Weston. Wayland has a half a length advantage over Oakland in lane 3. Oakland's in third place, and they only have a couple seats now over Berkeley in fourth. Mercer's right behind Berkeley in fifth, and Cincinnati continues in sixth. Marina still one seat of open water, understroking the field still. Wayland going right with them, though. Wayland has not given up on this yet. Wayland now moving back up and back into contact. Wayland-Weston in second place, now back barely into contact with Marina. They took back the open water and now are back to tip. Stern tip to bow tip. Wayland has a full length now as Berkeley High School moves into third. Berkeley High School moving into third position, a couple of seats advantage over Oakland. 750 meters to go as the pack actually starts to tighten. Oakland only has a couple seat advantage over the Mercer Juniors, and the Mercer Juniors on a power move. The Mercer Juniors pushing. Oakland trying to respond. We have 3 boats across for the third place medal. Marina in the lead. Wayland-Weston in second place and trying to challenge. 3 boats across for third. Cincinnati still in sixth place, but they are still only one length out of the medal. Cincinnati still just one length out of the medal here in sixth as this race tightens in the men's lightweight 4. Marina continues to lead, still staring at a challenge from Wayland-Weston Crew. Wayland-Weston, it's still, as we clear the point here, it's still tip to tip, maybe a little bit of overlap. Wayland still has second place. Third place is a duel now between Mercer and Berkeley, and it looks like Berkeley is now back into the advantage in third. Mercer a couple of seats behind them, and Oakland Strokes only a couple seats out of Mercer. Cincinnati in sixth, a couple of seats of open water behind Oakland. In lane 4, Marina continuing to understroke the field. Really looking strong as they approach the 250 meter mark. Marina pushing for the goal. There goes their sprint, and they are gone. Marina going for the gold. They are out of here. Wayland in second place, and it's going to be a real war for third between Mercer and Berkeley.
Oregon, Conestoga, Austin, Quad City, Dallas. Attention, go.
Already going in the women's quad. Yep. And the women's quad, we already have a start. Already started in the women's quad as they are through the starting area and approaching 250 meters in. Closest to shore into me in lane 7, Dallas. Quad City in lane 6, Austin Rowing Club in lane 5, Conestoga in lane 4, Oregon Association in lane 3. On the outside is Lakeside in lane 2. Picking this race up at about the 350 meter mark in lane 3, early leader by a full length is Oregon Association of Rowers. In lane 3, followed 4, 5, 6, bang, bang, bang. One seat separating each one of those, Conestoga, Austin, and Quad City. Dallas in lane 7 is in 5th position. Lakeside in lane 2 is in 6th. 4, 5, and 6 pushing up into Oregon Association. That one length lead evaporated pretty quickly as the crews hit the settle. Here's 500. Oregon is still in the lead, but their advantage is now down to, call it 4 seats, maybe 3 seats. And lanes 4, 5, and 6 are all basically even. Conestoga, Austin, and Quad City. I'd say that Austin has a slight advantage, and they are starting to walk out a little bit. But Austin is still a third of a length down to Oregon Association of Rowers. Oregon Association in first place in lane 3. Austin in lane 5, second. Third is Conestoga in lane 4, only 2 seats off second place. Fourth, Quad City in lane 6. And they'd better be careful because Lakeside is coming. Lakeside's only 2 seats behind them. They're in 5th place. They're out in lane 2. Dallas trails the pack by a full length. Oregon Association still leads in the women's quad. Their lead is, though, now down to 2 seats. Austin in lane 5 is coming. They're now only 1 seat down. Austin on the move. Austin even. Austin and Oregon. Austin with momentum. Austin into the lead by 1 seat. Austin now in lane 5 in the lead. Oregon Association in second place. They have a 5, maybe 6 seat advantage over Conestoga in lane 4. Conestoga has 4 seats over Quad City. Quad City has about a half a length over Lakeside, and Lakeside has a length and a half or so over Dallas. 1,000 meters down, Austin now has a half, 3/4 of a length walking out on Oregon Association. Oregon Association now only has a 3-seat advantage over Conestoga. Conestoga is neck and neck with Quad City. Quad City moving. Conestoga and Quad City challenging Oregon. Quad City now into second place. Oregon falls to third, and Oregon is only 1 seat ahead of a charging Conestoga, who's in 4th. Austin in lane 5 leads the race. 1 full length over Quad City. Quad City trying to get back into the gold medal contention. Quad City moving on the other 2 crews. Quad City has a half a length advantage over Conestoga and Oregon. I'd say Conestoga and Oregon are basically even now for the bronze medal. They have a full length advantage with 750 meters to go over Lakeside, but Lakeside's advantage over Dallas has evaporated as Dallas now charging and to try to get into 5th. Austin still leading in lane 5, trying to hold off a charge from Quad City in lane 6. Quad City pushing away from Conestoga and Oregon. Conestoga and Oregon, those 2 crews are dueling for 3rd place. The pack is starting to tighten here from 3rd to 6th. Austin continues to move out, though. It looks like Austin's advantage might even now be a full length as we come from behind the point. 500 meters to go. Austin still in the lead. Austin a full length. They are just barely open, maybe 1 seat of open water over Quad City. Quad City is tip to tip. Now Oregon goes back into 3rd, 1 seat over Conestoga. Now 2 seats over Conestoga and only a half of a length behind Quad City. Oregon making a bid to reclaim a silver medal. Oregon charging. Quad City is going to have to hold them off as Austin rows away from the field. 2:50 to go. It's going to be tight for 2nd and 3rd. The headwind has finally reached down here to the start platform today for the start of the women's 4. We've had a lot of two-sculling bow to get the noses into the wind. Still have pretty nice conditions, you know, flat water for the most part, but that breeze is starting to push the bows around and the coxswains are having to deal with that. The red flag is up and down. We have a start in the women's 4. In lane 7, closest to the shore and closest to me, Groton School. Lane 6 is Pomfret. The Petty School is in lane 5. Pocock Training Center in lane 4. Mount Baker in lane 3, and Maritime Rowing Club on the outside in lane 2. A clean start as they come out of the breakage area. We're going to be picking this race up just here as they emerge from the breakage area. Nobody getting steered at all. And a nice tight group here at the beginning. Say the Petty School in lane 5 is the early leader by just maybe a seat or so over Groton in lane 7. Petty School and Groton are the early leaders as we come to 250 meters down. Those two crews have had a fantastic start and have a full length on the rest of the field. Pocock in lane 4 is in 3rd position. And 4th is just maybe a seat behind is the Pomfret School in lane 6. Now we're going to see if the rest of the field catches up to these early leaders. It looks like the field is starting to catch Groton a little bit. Groton in lane 7 is starting to slide down into the field. They now only have a 3/4 of a length lead over Pocock Training Center in lane 4. But the Petty School in lane 5, they now have a full-length lead over Groton and open water on everybody else as we approach 500 meters into the race. 500 meters now. There goes the Petty School in lane 5. Groton still clinging to 2nd place, but they are under attack from Pocock Training Center in lane 4. 4th place looks like Mount Baker now over in lane 3. 5th place Maritime in 2. And, no, I'm sorry, and then Pomfret School in 6th here in lane 6. Moving now into 2nd place, that is lane 4, Pocock Training Center. They now have taken command of 2nd place from Groton, but they still have quite a mountain to climb to catch the Petty School. Petty School has a half a length of open water over the Pocock Training Center, and we haven't even hit the 750 meter mark yet. We're approaching 750. Petty School understroking the field through 750 and walking on the field. They lead. Pocock Training Center, lane 4, in 2nd place. Groton continuing the drop, moving now into 3rd is Mount Baker. Groton now in 4th, Maritime in 5th, Pomfret in 6th. Petty School rowing long, very long into this headwind, pushing right along, clean out of the water. They're looking very strong. Maybe a 3/4 of a length of open water now as they cruise down the course. Pocock in lane 4, still in 2nd place. They have a half a length over Mount Baker in lane 3. In 4th position now, it is 3 boats across, Maritime, Pomfret, and Groton. 1,000 meters down, the Petty School continues to lead. I'd say that they've extended the lead once again. It's 3/4 of a length of open water between them and the Pocock Training Center. Field's really spreading out now. Pocock has a full length. They are tip to tip with Mount Baker. Mount Baker is all alone in 3rd. They are a length out of 2nd and a length ahead of the 4th place crew. I'd say Pomfret is now in 4th. Groton and Maritime are in a real fight between 5th and 6th. Petty School in the blue and the gold, pushing along, probably a full length of open water now as they push into the headwind. Approaching 750 meters to go. They are continuing to move out on the field and build their lead. Pocock Training Center in lane 4, still in second place. They still have exactly 1 length over Mount Baker. Mount Baker is in third, but they are under attack from Pomfret, who has started to push into them. Pomfret now has overlap on Mount Baker. Pomfret only has about a half a length advantage over Groton, and Groton has about a full length advantage over Maritime. A length and a half of open water now. The Petty School, blue boat, yellow oars, pushing away from the field. In second is Pocock. Pomfret pushing hard into Mount Baker, and Pomfret has moved into third. Pomfret has brought Groton with them, and the Groton girls are challenging for that third place position as well. Third place is now Pomfret, maybe a little bit of advantage over Mount Baker in fourth and Groton in fifth, but it's pretty close. The Petty School continues pushing away, understroking the field. 2 lengths of open water now with 500 meters to go. It'll probably be a pretty close race for third, but I'd say that Pomfret, they're in control of third place. They have about a half a length, oh well, make that about 2 seats actually, over Mount Baker. It's going to be a close race between Pomfret and Mount Baker for the third place. In fourth is Pocock, and they have open water over Pomfret and Mount Baker. Pomfret and Mount Baker are in a duel for the bronze medal. Groton is in fifth, and Maritime's in sixth. Petty School in command. 2 lengths of open water, pushing right along, having controlled this race quite well, and off they go towards the gold medal. Looks like Mount Baker has gone back into third, with a strong push over the challenge from Pomfret. Pomfret may be 3 seats back now as Mount Baker starts their sprint.
This is the first flag for the men's 1.8 tournament. First flag means 1.8.
Pioneer, San Diego, Belmont, Groton, Lakeside, Wayland, Gentlemen, I'll be going to a countdown start. Continue getting your points during the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attention. Go.
We have a start in the men's fours. Clean start. We still have smooth water down here at the start, so people aren't having to fight through a lot of waves with the headwind, but the breeze is blowing a little bit from the starboard side, and off they go. Through the breakage area, we have an official race. Very tight group as they approach us. We're going to be picking this up 250 meters into the race. Early leaders, wow, it's close. Perhaps Belmont by a half a seat over Lakeside, maybe Lakeside. All right, Lakeside looked like they took an extended start. They stayed high longer than the rest of the field. Now they're settling down, but that extended start gave Lakeside about a 2-seat advantage over the field, but Belmont Hill is charging back right into them. That 2-seat advantage is now down to 1, and Belmont Hill pulls even. Belmont Hill, Lakeside, and Groton all within a seat of each other. Those 3 boats are the top 3 right now. In 4th place is Ann Arbor Pioneer out in lane 2. 5th is San Diego. 6th is Wayland-Weston. Pushing into the lead now, Belmont Hill, 500 meters down now. Belmont Hill in the lead. Groton now in 2nd place. Lakeside in 3rd. Belmont Hill pushing along. They have maybe a 2-seat advantage over Groton. Groton and Belmont Hill pushing out on Lakeside. Those 2 crews have a half a length advantage over Lakeside. Groton and Belmont Hill in a duel. Belmont Hill still has the advantage. Their coxswain on a bow-loaded 4 is on Groton's bow haul. Call it 2 seats. Holding steady there as they come out from behind the boat launch. Belmont Hill in lane 4, 1st place. Groton in lane 5, 2nd place. Groton under attack now by Lakeside. Here comes Lakeside to come up and challenge the Groton school. 750 meters down. Those 3 boats have a full-length advantage over Ann Arbor Pioneer out in lane 2. Ann Arbor is understroking the field, though, so do not count them out under any circumstance. Lane 3, San Diego, they are 3/4 of a length out of Ann Arbor. They're in 5th position. Wayland-Weston is in 6th here in lane 7, closest to the shore. Belmont continues to lead. The challenge from Lakeside was successful. They're now in 2nd place, 1 seat ahead of Groton and 2 seats behind Belmont Hill. Very close race here in 1st through 3rd. Here, Ann Arbor Pioneer is back into contact with the leaders, understroking going into the headwind and pushing up into the leaders. Approaching 1,000 meters as the pack starts to tighten. 1,000 meters down now. Belmont Hill still in the lead. They have 2 seats and they are taking a move right now over Lakeside. Moving out on Lakeside, they're overstroking a little bit. I'd say maybe they got half a seat, but Lakeside is responding with a move of their own. Belmont Hill, 2-seat lead over Lakeside. Lakeside Call it maybe a half a length now over Groton, and Groton only a half a length over Ann Arbor Pioneer. As this pack tightened at 1,000, now we're starting to see a spread again as they spread back out. Lakeside continues to hang around behind Belmont. They are right there, very close. It is not going to be a walkover. 750 meters to go. Belmont Hill still with a very slight advantage, but Lakeside is challenging. Lakeside on a move. Wow, it is close. Lakeside might be about even. We're going to have to drop back a little bit as we come close to the point here. Lakeside and Belmont Hill have both now broken open water on the Groton School. Groton in third, and Groton better be careful because Wayland-Weston and Ann Arbor Pioneer are only within half a length. Belmont Hill and Lakeside in a real brawl here in the men's 4, approaching 500 meters to go. Now the course is starting to get a little choppy, a little gusty, pushing into the headwind. Belmont touched the water there a little bit and threw a bit of spray into the air. They've recovered. Belmont and Lakeside pushing for the gold medal. It is very close. Groton in third, under attack from Wayland-Weston in lane 7, and Ann Arbor Pioneer in lane 2. Groton still in third, but Ann Arbor Pioneer is very close to them. Ann Arbor might be into third place now. Ann Arbor Pioneer into third. Groton School now in fourth. Belmont Hill, 3-seat advantage now. Belmont Hill walking. Belmont Hill 4-seat, call it a half a length advantage now. Half the length of a 4 for Belmont. In lane 4, pushing for the gold. Lakeside trying to hold on. They have silver, but they're under attack as well from a strong Ann Arbor Pioneer crew that understroked the field. 250 to go. It's going to be tight for the gold.
The team finals are as follows. In first place, Wayland-Weston Crew.
Holy names, Stanford, Wayland, Northern California, Cincinnati, Capital. Attention, hold, hold. Ladies, I'll be going to a countdown start. Continue getting your point during the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attention. Go.
Here we go. The lightweight women's 4 has a start. It took some time to get the boats aligned in the wind. The starter did go to a countdown start again. The flag is up and down, and they are pushing through the breakage area now. Closest to me, Capital Crew in lane 7, Cincinnati in lane 6, Norcal Crew in 5, Wayland-Weston in 4, Stanford Rowing Center in 3, Holy Names Academy all the way on the outside in lane 2. Women's lightweight 4s pushing up toward the 250-meter mark. Early leader, looks like Holy Name Academy got a real good jump. They're in second. I'd say Norcal Crew in lane 5 is in first, and they are pushing out. Going into the headwind here for women's light 4 is not going to be very easy, but the crew that is going to row the longest is probably going to win this. And right now that looks like Norcal. They have a half a length lead over the pack, half a length over Wayland-Weston and Capital. That's Wayland-Weston in lane 4, Capital in lane 7. Dropping back to third now is Holy Names, and then everybody else is just in a big jumble. It's a scramble right now in the middle. Now the pack starts to even out a little bit. Cincinnati and Capital are dropping out. They are dropping out pretty quickly. They're now full. Those two crews are now full length. We got two packs here. Holy Names in lane 2 is pushed back into the lead over Norcal. Now following Norcal is Stanford Rowing Center and Wayland-Weston, and those two crews are maybe about, well, now they're all even. So you've got Holy Names a half a length ahead, and as they pass through the 500-meter mark, Holy Name Academy in lane 2 a half a length ahead over Norcal, Wayland-Weston, and Stanford. And I'd say the crew with the advantage now into second place looks like Stanford Rowing Center in lane 3. Stanford Rowing Center in lane 3, they're in second place. They are a half a length behind the Holy Names Academy out in lane 2. Passing right now past the boat launch ramp, and all the crews start getting the full force of the headwind pushing right down the course. Holy Names now has a full 3/4 of a length lead. They are overlapping stern deck and bow deck over Stanford Rowing Center in lane 3. Only 2 seats behind Stanford is Norcal, now in third, and half a seat behind Norcal is Wayland-Weston in 4th. A full length and a half behind Wayland-Weston is 5th place Cincinnati Juniors in lane 6, and Cincinnati Juniors are a full length ahead of Capital, who's in 6th place in lane 7. Holy Names Academy still overlapping bow deck to stern deck over Stanford Rowing Center in lane 3. Stanford continues to have a 2-seat advantage over the Norcal crew in lane 5. Norcal only 1 seat ahead of Wayland-Weston in lane 4. Conditions are getting a little bit tougher. We're starting to see a couple splashes going into the air, a little bit of spray from these lightweight girls. Still the same positions. Holy Names in lane 2 continues to be overlapping their stern deck, overlapping with the bow deck of Stanford. Stanford still has 2 seats, and now tied for 3rd place is Norcal and Wayland-Weston. And Norcal takes a slight move and moves up a seat above on Wayland-Weston. Norcal challenging into second. They are challenging into second with Stanford. Stanford and Norcal are pushing up into Holy Names. Those two crews we passed through the 1,000 are now only a half a length behind Holy Names Academy. Norcal pushing through the 1,000 and on the move. Norcal 2 seats behind Holy Name. Now 1 seat behind Holy Names Academy. Norcal on the move, they're even. They have brought Stanford and Wayland-Weston with them. Holy Names been caught by the pack. Norcal is even with the Holy Names Academy. They might have perhaps a seat advantage now as they continue to push coming toward the 750-meter buoy. Norcal pushing out. Holy Names has been caught, and Stanford is also pulled even with the Holy Names Academy. Norcal now a half a length in the lead. Up on Stanford. Stanford only a half a seat over Holy Names. Holy Names has maybe 2 seats over Wayland-Weston. Wayland-Weston in 4th. Cincinnati Juniors in 5th, and they have overlap over on Wayland-Weston. Cincinnati has a full length and a half over Capital Crew here in lane 7. Into the headwind goes Norcal in 5, pushing hard, trying to come form is Stanford in lane 3. Straight into the headwind, little bit of spray being tossed into the air by Cincinnati. We're dropping back so that the crews can clear the point. Norcal looking very strong. Stanford definitely has an advantage over Holy Names now. Norcal and Stanford, and it will be close as they push toward the finish. 500 meters to go. This race has gone back and forth. Norcal crew still in the lead. Stanford in lane 3 trying to challenge up into them, but they are still in second place. They have control of second place over Holy Names and Wayland-Weston. Holy Names has third. Holy Names has third by about, call it half a length over Wayland-Weston. Norcal still in the lead, but that lead is under attack from Stanford. Stanford, call it 3 seats behind. Stanford pushing. Stanford 2 seats behind. Norcal in the lead, under attack from Stanford as we approach the 250 meters. Norcal raising the rating. Norcal now walking away. Norcal 3 seats ahead. 4 seats ahead. They are walking and moving. Stanford in second. Holy Names under attack for the bronze. Holy Names under attack from Wayland-Weston. Cincinnati in 5th and Capital in 6th.
McAllis, Everett, Canisius, St. Andrew, St. Joseph, St. Augustine, attention, go.
In the grand final of the lightweight eights for the men, we have a start, and they are out of the breakage area. We're going to have an official race. Closest to me in lane 7, St. Augustine. St. Joe's Prep in lane 6. St. Andrews in 5. Canisius in 4. Everett in 3. And Macaulay out in 2 as they come burning through the 250. Really, nobody is falling off the pace that much at all. We have a very, very tight pack. Wow, very, very close racing. Pushing into the headwind with the lightweight men's eights. This is going to be a fast one. They are burning right through here. Looks like Everett is now dropping off the pace, but we have a very close pack, and then Everett now 6 seats out of it. Early leader right now, really burning hard, is St. Augustine. They're right there with St. Joe's and St. Andrews. Canisius now pushing into the lead as St. Augustine's early push kind of peters out. Looks like Macaulay all the way out in lane 2 as we come through 500 meters now. Macaulay and Canisius are your early leaders in the light men's 8, followed by now half a length behind St. Joe's Prep from Philadelphia. Only a seat behind St. Joe's is St. Andrews, and following St. Andrews by only a seat is St. Augustine. Everett is back into the mix as well. Less than a length separates first through 6th. Now into the lead goes Canisius, only by 2 seats now. 3 seats probably. Canisius pushing out into the lead. Second place is Macaulay, but Macaulay's also under attack from St. Joe's. Macaulay still in second. 750 meters down, we are clear of the boat ramp. Canisius leads in lane 4. Macaulay in lane 2 in second place. St. Joe's in lane 6 in third. Following only a seat behind St. Joe's is St. Andrews. In 4th, 5th place is Everett, half a length out, and then 6th place, only a little bit behind them, is St. Augustine. Their early sprint has been spent. Real nice, clean finishes pushing here into the breeze. Clean rowing here from Canisius as they extend their lead. Canisius pushing out on Macaulay, and Macaulay under attack from St. Joe's. I'd say Macaulay and St. Joe's are even now in second place, but both of those crews are a full 8 seats behind Canisius as we go through the 1,000. St. Joe's now into second, and St. Joe's attacking Canisius. They're now 6 seats behind. St. Joe's still holding 6 seats behind Canisius. St. Joe's in second place. Macaulay in third. Moving to 4th now is St. Augustine. 5th, St. Andrews. 6th, Everett. Taking over 3rd place is Macaulay as St. Augustine's move filters out just a little bit. 7:50 to go, and Canisius pushes back against St. Joe's. Canisius puts their coxswain on the St. Joe's bowman. Really pushing hard here for 3rd as Macaulay starts petering out. St. Joe's in 2nd. St. Augustine's attacking again now to push back up into the leaders. The pack is starting to compress again. 6th place is close now between Everett and St. Andrews. Canisius still leads, but they're going to be under attack from St. Joe's and now from St. Augustine. 500 meters to go. With 500 meters remaining, Canisius continues to lead. They have a 7-seat advantage over St. Joe's. St. Joe's under attack from St. Augustine. They are only 3 seats up on St. Augustine. St. Augustine is in 3rd and attacking. The St. Joe's bowman is sitting on the bow ball of St. Augustine, and that bow ball is moving up past him. St. Augustine attacking to try and get St. Joe's in 2nd. St. Augustine now only a seat behind. Canisius still in the lead. Canisius in the lead. St. Augustine even with 250. St. Augustine in 2nd place, even with St. Joe's. St. Augustine attacking. St. Augustine into 2nd place and over to the finish.
Cincinnati Country Day, Detroit, Maritime, Melbourne, Pocock, North Allegheny. Attention. Go.
We already have a start in the men's quad. We're going to be picking up this race at about the 450, 500 meter mark. Looks like pretty clean rowing so far. Early leaders. Looks like the two crews in the middle. That would be Maritime and Malvern. From the shore all the way out in 7, it's North Allegheny. In 6, Pocock Training Center. Malvern Prep in 5. Maritime in 4. Detroit Rowing in 3. Cincinnati Country Day out in lane 2. Early leader, Malvern in lane 5. Only, call it a seat or so. Ooh, actually, no, it's more than that. As they pass through the 500, Malvern has overlap, stern deck on bow deck over Maritime. Those two quads have a full length of open water over the Pocock Training Center in lane 6. Pocock's in 3rd, and they are only a seat in front of Cincinnati Country Day, and Cincinnati Country Day might have just taken 3rd from them. Pocock drops to 4th. In 5th place is Detroit. North Allegheny's in 6th. Passing the boat launch, Malvern continues to lead with overlapping over Maritime. They're overlapping stern deck on bow deck over Maritime, and those two crews still have over a length of open water now over Cincinnati Country Day. Cincinnati Country Days all alone in 3rd. They have a half a length or so on Pocock Pocock only has a couple seats on Detroit. North Allegheny trails Detroit by about a length. Malvern pushing out. They are now tip to tip over Maritime. Malvern Prep now tip to tip over Maritime, exactly a 1-length lead. Malvern's overstroking them. They are getting more strokes in per minute than Maritime, really pushing through, clean rowing, nice catches right together. Same thing for Maritime, locking them in, approaching the 1,000-meter mark. Malvern breaking open water, about 1 seat open water. Maritime now has a full length and possibly some change lead of open water over Cincinnati Country Day. Cincinnati Country Day all the way out in lane 2. CCD now has overlapping stern deck over bow deck on Pocock Training Center. Pocock has about the same in margin, overlapping over Detroit, and Detroit has a full length lead on North Allegheny. Malvern had broken open water, but Maritime has come back into contact with them just a little bit. And now Malvern responds and pushes back out. Malvern and Maritime dueling it out in the men's quad. Those two crews now have 2 lengths of open water over third place. Third place is still Cincinnati Country Day, but Cincinnati Country Day is under pressure from Pocock Training Center. Pocock is pushing. Pocock is tied now with CCD. Pocock's moving. Pocock, with 750 to go, is moved now into third place. CCD drops to 4th. Cincinnati Country Day has a full length and some open water over Detroit in 5th, and Detroit has some open water over North Allegheny in 6th. Malvern and Maritime out in the lead, dueling it out for the championship in the men's quad. We've seen some of the closest racing ever in the men's quad here last year, and let's see if Malvern can hold on one more time. Pushing along, nice clean rowing into the headwind. Malvern still leads, Maritime behind them. Pocock Training Center in 3rd and trying to get back onto terms. But it looks like it's going to be Malvern with less than 500 to go. Malvern Prep continuing to get out there. Maritime has pushed back into them though as Maritime raises their stroke rating. It's gonna be another photo finish as Maritime pushes into them. Maritime now a half a length behind. Maritime walking up onto Malvern. Maritime moving. Maritime into the lead. Maritime had held back, understroked all the way through the race and is pushed into the lead over Malvern Prep. Maritime 4 seats, 5 seats into the lead with 250 meters to go, and it's going to be close for 3rd too, folks.
St. Ignatius, Long Beach, Everett, Maritime, Phillips Exeter, St. Louis. Ladies,
The starter is probably going to go to a countdown once she can get everyone aligned and with the hands down.
4, 3, 2, 1. Attention, and give the command to start.
St. Ignatius with a hand in the air, tapping it around again.
The process.
Lane 4, 5, out just a hair. Lane 4,
4.
out.
She's going to a countdown start.
2,
2,
1.
1.
Attention.
Red flag is up. And down we have a start. Clean start in the women's 8. They're coming through the breakage area now. We're going to be picking them up at the 250-meter mark, the championship for the women's 8. St. Louis in 7, Phillips Exeter in 6, Maritime in 5, Everett in 4, Long Beach in 3, St. Ignatius on the outside in lane 2. They are through the breakage area. We have an official race. Nice tight pack here as they approach the 250-meter mark. No one crew really has jumped out to a big lead. We do expect some close racing here today. And as they come even, it's about what you would expect. I'd say if anybody has a slight advantage, it might be 5 different boats. Wow. I would say we're looking across at 6 boats. If anyone has an advantage, maybe Maritime by about a seat, and Long Beach as well, as the pack starts to spread just a little bit. Long Beach in lane 3 in the lead by about a seat over Maritime in lane 5. Maritime has a 1-seat advantage over Everett in 4. Followed very closely by Ignatius out there in 2. Phillips Exeter in 6 and St. Louis in 7. St. Louis is in 6th place. Really starting to spread out now. The Long Beach Juniors are in lane 3 as they pass the boat launch ramp at about 600 meters. They've got now a 6-seat lead over 3 boats. Ignatius, Everett, and Maritime. Those 3 boats are even in 2nd place. Phillips Exeter is in 5th, and they have a 1-length lead over St. Louis in 6th. Phillips Exeter is about 7 seats out of 2nd place. Now moving to take command of 2nd place by 1 seat is St. Ignatius out in lane 2. But leading the race is Long Beach in lane 3. They've pulled their coxswain up to the bow ball of St. Ignatius, and they continue to steadily walk away. Nice smooth run and letting a lot of run. Their coxswain now past the bow ball. Long Beach, the Long Beach Juniors breaking open water right there. Long Beach Juniors in lane 3, breaking into the lead all alone, open water over St. Ignatius. Ignatius has about a 1 or 2 seat advantage over Maritime in lane 5, and Maritime is only a seat up on Everett in lane 4. Phillips Exeter is 1 length behind Everett, and St. Louis is 1 length behind Phillips Exeter. 1,000 meters down, 1,000 meters to go. Long Beach continues to lead all alone, 2 seats of open water over St. Ignatius. Ignatius in 2nd place, but only in 2nd place by about a seat over Maritime, and they're being challenged by Maritime right now. Maritime on the move. Maritime even. Maritime moving up a seat. Now up 2 seats. Maritime walking into 2nd place and back into contact. They took a little flutter there, and now they've settled back down. That move brought them back into contact with the Long Beach Juniors, but now Long Beach with their coxswain once again on a bell ball. Long Beach is going to try and push away. Long Beach in the lead. Maritime in second place now. Maritime's move really changed the scope of this race as St. Ignatius seemed to lose heart from that. They're in third now by a full length and being chased as Philip Exeter makes a charge into third place. So it is now Long Beach in first, Maritime in second, Phillips Exeter in third, and a very close race for fourth between St. Ignatius and Everett. St. Louis is still one length behind. Looks like St. Louis is still only one length behind Phillips Exeter, so Phillips Exeter's move kind of brought St. Louis back into the race as well. We're dropping back behind the race so that we can clear the point. I'll get you more information as we swing back around. Long Beach still looking to be in control though. Dropping the oars right in. The weather has smoothed out. The course has smoothed out a little bit. Long Beach looks like they're being challenged though by Maritime. Long Beach is still in the lead. And Maritime is all alone in second place. They have a full length over St. Ignatius. Ignatius took back over third. Real spread out Long Beach. Their coxswain sitting on the bow ball at Maritime. Their coxswain pushing them up. Long Beach in the lead. Maritime in second. Maritime's coxswain on the bow ball of St. Ignatius. St. Ignatius' coxswain on the bowman of Phillips Exeter. All boats starting their sprint with 250 meters to go. Long Beach is being challenged by Maritime, but they've got a big hill to climb. Maritime is walking.
Westerville, Mount Baker, Capital, Pacific.
It has the wind has significantly dropped down here at the start. We still get a little gust every now and again, and a hand comes up to tap a bow around. Everett has their hand in the air right now. All hands are down. Oh, we got hands up again. Westerville has a hand in the air.
Lane 5 out, 1 inch. Lane 5 out.
Westerville still has a hand in the air. Mount Baker has a hand in the air now. Pacific now has a hand in the air. Still working on getting them pointed. You can imagine the coxswains are up. Red flag is up.
Go.
And down we have a start. We have a start in the men's 8. Into the breakage area. Clean start, no false starts. Through the breakage area now, we're going to have an official race in the final of the men's 8. As one would expect, a very tight group again as we emerge out here from the breakage area. I wouldn't say that any one particular crew has a huge advantage, though Everett in lane 7 has fallen off the pace just a little bit by a couple of seats. If anybody has a bit of a lead right now, it's Green Lake in lane 6 as we pass through 250 meters. Early leader would be Green Lake, it looks like. Pacific right along with them, only a couple seats behind. Pacific and Green Lake. And now they come to even terms as Pacific moves up on Green Lake and both crews 2 seats up. 3 seats up. Pacific walking out and into the lead. In second place looks like Capital Crew in lane 4. Green Lake in lane 6 in third, pursued very closely by Mount Baker. Mount Baker Westerville and Mount Baker on even terms in 4th and 5th place. Everett is in 6th. Pacific Rowing Club as we approach the boat launch, and that is 600 meters. Pacific Rowing Club now has almost a half a length lead. Yep, that's a half a length over Capital. Capital is in 2nd place. 3rd place now is Green Lake. 4th place, Mount Baker. 5th place, Westerville, only a seat behind. 3rd, 4th, and 5th are separated by about 3 seats. Everett is 1 length off the pack. 750 meters down. Pacific in lane 5 continues to lead. 1/2 length over Capital in lane 4. Capital has a half a length over Green Lake. That makes Green Lake they are a full length out of the lead. Green Lake only has about a 1-seat lead, if that, over Mount Baker. Mount Baker's in lane 3. They're in 4th place, trying to challenge and get up into 3rd. Westerville's in 5th. Everett in 6th. The margin between the leading crews continues to be half a length. Now Pacific on the move. Pacific walking. Pacific coxswain past the bowman. Pacific coxswain to the nameplate as they go through 1,000 meters. Nice little move there by Pacific. They pulled their coxswain up to the nameplate of Capital Crew. They broke open water away from Green Lake. Pacific continuing to walk. Their coxswain's on the bow ball. He's barking at his crew to get him open water. Pacific continuing to walk away. Pacific tip to tip now. Pacific tip to tip over Capital. Green Lake charging back into Capital to try and get into 2nd place. Green Lake only a seat behind Capital, and now tip to tip with Pacific. Green Lake now on a flutter. Green Lake into 2nd place with 750 meters to go. Green Lake now overlapping with the leaders in with the leaders from Pacific. Pacific in the lead. Green Lake charging has pulled their bowman up to the coxswain of Pacific. Green Lake into 2nd place. Capital in 3rd. 4th on the charge is Everett. 5th now Mount Baker, and Westerville now in 6th. Pacific still leading, being challenged by Green Lake in lane 6. We're going to drop back to let the point clear. Pacific continues to lead, dropping him right in, nice and clean into the headwind. Will Green Lake have enough to move back up to even terms after being open water behind? There are 500 meters left to find out. Pacific continues to lead. Green Lake still in second place. Pacific extended their lead. Pacific coxswain on Green Lake's bow ball. Green Lake, their coxswain, sits on the 2 seat of the Capital Crew. Capital coxswain has a full 8-seat advantage over Mount Baker, and Mount Baker has 4 seats over Westerville. Everett back to 6th place. Pacific in the lead still. Their coxswain now has fallen back to the bow seat of Green Lake as Green Lake is walking. Green Lake now 6 seats behind. Green Lake charging now 5 seats behind. Green Lake charging now 4 seats behind. Here comes Green Lake. Pacific had better watch out with less than 250 meters to go. Pacific leads and Green Lake is sprinting.